From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents The Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
And welcome to The Open Mic Show. I'm Tim Coco, soon to be your former host. That's right. It's going to be this is a big transition here. As longtime viewers and listeners may know, I filled in for Jack Bevelaqua, and I think it's been something like 7 years that I've been filling in for this program.
We were talking about that earlier, and I wondered how long it had been.
And it's been quite a while.
I estimated low.
Oh, all right. So, well, it's around that time anyway. So Frank Komola, who many of you have been introduced to, you've certainly heard him, whether it's on Community Spotlight, whether it was on a news item, especially last week on the demolition of Rockingham Park. First heard, by the way, on WHAV. I was frankly surprised that others didn't pick up on it until after that. So
Well, it's been happening a lot around here.
That's right. So Frank,
the very reason why we're on, I think.
That's right. So Frank, as sometimes a reporter, always a volunteer, and but you're getting used to our budget problems, folks, aren't you? We'll ask you about membership in a minute. But, of course, Chris, the man with 5 radio jobs, all of them unpaid, is another volunteer. And so there are many of us here. I'm a volunteer. But it's become clear that this show needs a permanent host who is linked very deeply to the community, who is active in the community every day, has his ear to the ground, and maybe is a better radio-type cliche. So Frank Komola, I don't have an actual baton because we can't afford one, but I'm going to hand you the baton.
The yellow magic marker.
Yellow magic marker.
Yes.
And Frank is going to take over the program in about 10 minutes.
No, he changed his mind. I'm kidding.
Yeah, actually, no, I'm sorry, I won't go. No. All right. So this is, no, but you know, I don't think Frank's ever actually had the proper interview. So we're going to spend 2 minutes, maybe 3, on Frank's background. And then we're going to go through the contests. And we have some great guests coming up. Matter of fact, since they're Frank's guests, I'm going to let Frank tell you who's coming up at about 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 6 minutes. I'm talking too much. All right.
It's a good thing we're not launching a spacecraft.
Yeah.
Well, maybe in 5. Well, no, 8 minutes.
All right. So, Frank, who are your guests on the Open Mic Show?
Well, we have 2 volunteers from the Cogswell Artspace Initiative. Jaime D. Simone and Tina Fuller. And then we have Lauren Sprague, who will be performing this Thursday evening with 11 other singers and performers in a benefit concert for the Cogswell Artspace. Okay.
Wonderful. Let's go through the routine here. Frank will take over the routine, but let's go through them. Frank inherits some really bad notes. We'll figure out how to clean that up for him. But let's start with birthdays and anniversaries. Okay, here it is, a new month. That means we take birthdays and anniversaries from the next month. So if you are having a birthday in July or an anniversary in July, or you know someone who is, all you have to do is call the Open Mic Show, and you could win a free 7-inch cake, choice of vanilla or chocolate, from Albee D's second-generation Italian bakery. See, by the way, I didn't even have to read that. Eventually, it'll become second nature to you, too. So it's very easy.
That's 7 years of practice right there, isn't it?
There it is. Well, actually, we've had different over the years, but anyway. So all you have to do to win, now we go through this every now and then, and we still find people are new and not sure how to do this. It's simple. You call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. And you can wish yourself a happy birthday, or you and your spouse a happy anniversary, or a friend, a neighbor, a classmate, a coworker, anyone you'd like. Now, if you're a friend of some of our regulars like Marcel, you're probably already in her book. So the other person you might want to befriend, if not, is Brian Langlois, who also seems to have a winning streak with nominating just the right people. I suspect he's on the phone right now. So, to win a 7-inch cake from Albie D's second-generation Italian bakery for July birthdays and anniversaries, call during the program. All right, and we still have, this is probably going to become a legacy question, trivia question from Kimball Tavern Antiques, corner of Salem and South Main Streets in Bradford, is offering a $10 gift certificate, same as Cass. So if the item is $10 or less, it's absolutely free. If it's $10 or more, you get $10 off. So to win your $10 gift certificate, be the first person to answer this question, and it was a 3-parter. We're down to 1. The original question is, name the man on Lowell Avenue who collected hubcaps. Now, if you're from the area or heard about them, this is rather a legendary man. The hubcaps were everywhere, on his house, on the street, on the sidewalk, everywhere apparently. All you have to do is name the man and his nickname. Well, other listeners have made this easy for you. His first name is Charlie. His nickname is Kista. His initials are C.A. So all you have to do is name this man's last name, and you could win a $10 gift certificate to Kimball Tavern Antiques. Frank, you're not eligible. You can read the answer.
And I wish, too, because it's right across the street from where I live. I could just walk across the street, pick something up, and come right back home with it.
Oh, at Albie D's second-generation Italian bakery.
I'd swing by there, too.
At 140 South Main Street. You
That's
see,
correct.
This is no calls to action. It's all perfectly legal, but we work it all in. All right. So we are just about out of my time.
Really?
Now, I'll always be around, so until they throw me out of my other jobs. But we're still around. And so, Frank, welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
Frank has been a wonderful volunteer. Okay, we'll work in a birthday because Chris has to answer that call. All right, you are on the open mic.
Here I am.
I figured Brian would be the first caller, as always, kicking off July birthdays and anniversaries. Who do you have for us, Brian?
I have Jackie.
Jackie. Have you nominated Jackie before?
Yes.
All
and
right.
She won a year ago.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, our rule is simply 30 days, so she's certainly eligible. So, it's a birthday?
Is it what?
It's a birthday, right?
It's a birthday.
Happy
yeah.
birthday, Jackie.
I don't think I've done any anniversaries, or at least not for a long time.
Well, you'll have to work on that.
All right. So, you and Marcel are the ones who keep everybody's birthdays down. So, maybe we'll hear from Marcel later. Now that I'm calling her out, we want to make sure all the regulars come back with Frank, and he certainly will have some irregulars, I'm sure too.
Judging by some of the feedback I've gotten on the website for the columns I've written.
Well, it's one of those things.
Well, I had no idea. I was just saying to Chris that I didn't know this change was going to happen unless it just came up suddenly.
It's been something I've been thinking about since filling in for Jack 7 years ago.
But then I started trying to ease him out the door about 2 or 3 months ago.
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is, for example, tonight, there's all kinds of big news stories that you'll be hearing on WHAV, first on the website around midnight, and then tomorrow morning, we're beginning news even earlier now, 6 a.m. And that was Frank's idea. So Frank has a lot of ideas. With so much happening, until we have more staff and until we have more members and more sponsors so that we can have more staff, I'm just going to have to free up my schedule a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And we've added a couple of people to the staff, so you've got people spread out. You got between underwriting, sales, editing,
got somebody,
writing
good.
stories, you're running all over the place. So.
Yeah, well, we have certainly more people involved, more people working and volunteering. But we have some great volunteers who've come aboard in the last few weeks as well. So it's all about growth, but I'm not gone. I'll be around. especially, maybe we'll even do, it's up to Frank, it's going to be his call. Maybe we do every now and then general managers' questions. I think Channel 38 did that. And
Yeah,
so
I remember Dana Hersey.
Yeah, okay, so
Yep.
there we are. So
Yep.
I might come on when we want to answer some questions about why we did that. Actually, I'll suggest one right now as I go over time, teaching Frank a bad lesson. I mean, today we rebroadcast Reach Higher, the education forum on school success at Hunking
Yeah.
School. We ran that during drive time. It's unusual, yes it is.
And it ran past the 6:30 mark.
And it ran past. That's what specials sometimes do. And it's a public service. Right now, the City Council is considering the school budget tonight, and there is a formal hearing on the school budget next Thursday, if I have that right off the top of my head. So this is on the minds. Now, not everyone agrees with the positions that were mentioned in this forum, but the forum was brought to us by two sponsors, Haverhill Education Coalition and Northern Essex Community College. And frankly, when we have a rare sponsor, and it's sometimes rather rare, we're going to move heaven and earth to get those programs on. So unfortunately, there were some people who wanted to hear the Bee Gees. Well, we'll do it again tomorrow. All right. But now I am going to pass this over because we have a very, very tight schedule tonight. Live performance tonight by Lauren. This is one for the record books. I think you're really going to enjoy this. But Brian, thank you very much. And of course, we'll definitely keep in touch.
Sure enough.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Bye. All right. Chris, we're going to go to a break. And Frank is going to take over the reins.
Open mic!
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
97.9 FM WHAV.
Catch the wave!
Suspense, a weekly anthology of notable melodramas from stage and screen, fiction and radio, presented every Monday night to bring you to the edge of your chair, to keep you in suspense. Listen to the new Suspense with a company of Hollywood actors and surprising guest stars, Monday nights at 10, with encore performances at 1 a.m., right here on WHAV. Remember, only local radio can bring you this feature opportunity, but only WHAV does.
WHAV! Open mic!
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Frank Komola, the host of Open Mic. I just wanted to mention a couple of things. We're going to have our guests on after the top of the hour. But I wanted to thank the underwriters and the members of 97.9 WHAV. You've really helped give us a chance to bring you the news and the events and the people like the guests we have this evening. And I'm very grateful to be able to be here tonight. We have, as we may have mentioned earlier, two guests from the Cogswell Artspace Initiative, Jaime D. Simone and Tina Fuller. The Cogswell School is up on South Main Street in Bradford. And several years ago, probably I want to say 4 or 5 years ago anyway, the school was closed by the city. And a group of individuals got together and decided that they wanted to create an art space. Creative Haverhill was behind this, and a group of volunteers. And over the last couple of years, they've done a great job of raising funds. They've had a couple of fundraisers. And the event that's coming up on Thursday night, the Divas in Bradford, is another one of those events. There'll be 12 singers that will perform at the First Church Christ at 10 Church Street in Bradford. And so we're going to have Lauren on. She's going to perform one of the songs from the show. And we'll talk about the history of the Cogswell Artspace and what they hope to accomplish going forward. Lauren is one of 12 singers in the cast of Diva. The cast members are Avery Butler, Heather Butler, Megan Carey, Margaret DeGrazia, Michelle Grasso, Sandra Huerta, Risa Cap, Carol Messina, Amy Nelson, Brooke Nelson, Brenda Pothier, and Lauren Sprague. And Lauren will be here in just a short while to sing for us. Hope to have some great shows going forward. Going to talk a little bit of sports next Monday night from 6:30 to 7:30. Looking forward to that. And I'm very happy to have the opportunity to host this program. Some big shoes to fill between Tim being on here the last 7 years. Bill Pike sat in this chair for quite a long time. And we hope to have a lot of fun and be entertaining and bring some of the news of the Valley. One of the things I've come to really respect and enjoy, particularly doing the community spotlights here over the last couple of months. There are a large number of individuals and groups in the city and in the Merrimack Valley that are doing great work. All volunteers, raising funds for a number of projects, and it's very gratifying when you pick up the phone and call some of these groups, and you find out that they have events coming up for their nonprofits, like the group that we're going to be talking to tonight, and to be able to spend 60 seconds on a regular basis over the course of the weeks leading up to their event to talk to them about what's going on and to publicize them is a great thing. There's a lot of wonderful people out there doing terrific things. So if you belong to a nonprofit organization and you have an event coming up in the near future, feel free to either email me at fkomola, that's KOMOLA, at whav.net, or you can call me at 978-374-2111, extension 460. Again, we have a contest tonight for a $10 gift certificate from the Kimball Tavern Antiques. Who is the man on Lowell Avenue who collected hubcaps? Apparently there were several potholes out in the middle of the street in front of his house, and as people would drive up the street in the years past, these people would nail the pothole, and off would come the hubcap and roll up into their yards, and he would nail them up to the trees and on the front of his house. And we're looking for his name. We've had a couple of hints tonight. His initials of CA. His first name is Charlie, and he had a nickname here, Kista. So that's a $10 gift certificate to anybody who can name that individual. We've had this ongoing for a couple of months, and maybe we'll get a winner tonight. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and when we come back, we'll have our guests for tonight.
Open mic.
We'll be right back.
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
It's 6:59.
WHAV LP Haverhill.
Here's what's happening in local news. A family member told WHAV the man who died in Saturday's crash in Haverhill was Anthony Cunningham, just days before his 26th birthday. The family has not yet been allowed to identify the body, according to his only aunt, Melissa Cunningham of Haverhill. She said she expects he will be formally identified later today in Boston. She said police were able to confirm the identity by matching receipts in his car to a store video where he shopped. I will be the first to say he may have made a bad choice, but wasn't a bad kid. He was on his way home from work, no drugs or alcohol, she said. He would have been 26 this week on the 7th. If he wasn't working, he was fishing, she added. Cunningham crashed his car into a utility pole Saturday afternoon in Haverhill after being pursued by Merrimack police. He died about 8:20 Saturday night, a little more than 4 hours after the crash. He was raised by his grandparents, Donald and Judy Cunningham, and lived his life in Haverhill and Bradford, his aunt said. There was no official confirmation as of Sunday night from police or Essex County District Attorney Jonathan Blodgett's office, according to Merrimack Police Chief Eric Shears. An investigation has begun. This is obviously an unfortunate outcome, Shears said. We are actively investigating and hope to learn more about the circumstances surrounding this incident as soon as possible. Merrimack Police said Cunningham fled from police after a traffic stop at about 4:05 p.m. Saturday near 100 West Main Street. He was stopped for allegedly driving with an expired registration. As the Merrimack officer approached the vehicle, the driver sped off. The officer returned to his car and attempted to catch the vehicle as it fled onto Route 110 and into Haverhill, Shears said. The officer, who was unable to catch up to the driver, rounded a corner near the border on Atwood Road in Haverhill and found the vehicle crashed into a telephone pole. It has been difficult for some residents to make their way from the Railroad Square parking garage to the downtown Haverhill train station. Thanks to Washington Square resident Kathleen Collins, the problem got on the radar of the Haverhill's Disabilities Commission, and a solution appears near. Collins gave an overview of the problem to commissioners last week.
There's an elevator that goes up to the bridge. It'll say bridge. And when you get off on the bridge and you try to open that door, if you're in a wheelchair or a scooter and you try to open that door to go cross the bridge over to take a train, it's nearly impossible on a scooter.
Collins explained the heavy glass door is difficult to push open and there is no automatic door opener. Commission co-chairman Frances Hogan said she raised the matter with the Merrimack Valley Regional Transit Authority Administrator Joseph Costanzo. Costanzo pledged to look into the issue and develop a solution, either adjusting the tension of the door or installing an automatic door push plate. As of Thursday, Hogan said, Costanzo was obtaining prices for a new door and related wiring. Commissioner Joyce Thibodeau speculated the MBRTA garage met access requirements when it was designed, but standards may have changed.
Because the ADA laws have changed in 10 and 12. So that building was designed and under construction prior to the most recent changes.
The 350-space, 5-level garage was completed in April 2011 on the contaminated former Ted's for Tires site. Hogan said resolution of the door issue was one of the many ways the Commission helps residents.
We're interested in helping people who have any kinds of challenges in the community, getting out and being an active member of the community.
Remember, WHAV is the only Haverhill-based news source. There's always more at WHAV.net. In the Edwin V. Johnson newsroom, this is Tim Coco.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Rebecca Foster. The UK's Metropolitan Police have named 2 of the men involved in Saturday's London Bridge terror attack. U.S. President Donald Trump will not use executive privilege to block fired FBI Director James Comey's testimony before a Senate committee later this week. And the trial of American comedian Bill Cosby is getting underway as he faces charges for drugging and assaulting a woman.
Wave weather.
I'm WHAV meteorologist Gary Best with wave weather. For the Merrimack Valley, periods of light rain, drizzle, cool tonight around 50. Periods of light rain, drizzle, breezy and cool, low 50s on Tuesday. Light rain and drizzle again Tuesday night. Bit of morning drizzle perhaps early Wednesday, then clouds and some sun. High temperature Wednesday, a bit over 60. This is Gary Best. You're next to Wave Weather, coming up in 30 minutes.
For live and local talk, listen to the Open Mic Show, Monday nights. You can also see the program at WHAV.tv. WHAV, the only Haverhill-based news source, and it's always free. Broadcasting on the Armstrong FM system. This is 97.9 WHAV.
Catch the wave, WHAV, Merrimack Valley. Open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Welcome back. This is Frank Komola, your host on Open Mic. And tonight we have 3 very special guests, 2 from the Cogswell Artspace Initiative, and 1 Lauren Sprague, who is one of 12 singers and performers that will be singing and performing at a benefit concert this Thursday night at the First Church of Christ. And so we're going to have a little bit of a discussion about the Cogswell Artspace and how this group of individuals came together and the goals that they have for what once was a small elementary school on South Main Street. And then we'll listen to Lauren Sprague perform one of the songs that the group will perform at the concert on Thursday night and discuss how that group came together in support of the school. So we have the 2 volunteers from the Cogswell Artspace, Jaime D. Simone and Tina Fuller, and one or the other of you would like to start the discussion about how this all came together.
Well, I guess the beginning was the founding of Creative Haverhill, which is a nonprofit organization that promotes arts and culture in Haverhill, and they operate the Riverfront Cultural District, and they also participate in the various things that go on downtown, Kid Fest, River Ruckus, and the Experimental Film Festival, and they are involved also with the Haverhill Art Market and the Farmers Market.
And the Farmers Market will be starting up, I think, in a couple of weeks. I think on the 24th of June. I think I did an announcement for that the other day.
Excellent.
Over on the boulevard next to the Haverhill Police Station.
Yep.
A lot of activities in Haverhill this year.
Yes.
So, how did the group come together? I know that Danielle was involved initially, and then you got involved, and a number of individuals, and so tell me a little bit about how that all happened.
Well, Jaime lives right down the street. She can tell you all about it.
A few of us are really dedicated and devoted residents to preserving Cogswell School.
Mm-hmm.
It is a mainstay on that South Main Street. And Danielle and I met through a mutual friend over 3 years ago and kind of talked about how the architecture on that corner was quite grand, and knew the space had been deemed a surplus by the city of Haverhill for some years. and it was empty and dormant, and we kept daydreaming about its potential, and kind of slowly and surely grew our tribe and learned about Tina's role with the behavioral education system and how she might be an asset in thinking about how to adapt, the infrastructure of Cogswell School and its educational mission to be a community driver for arts and culture. And that really falls under the mission of Creative Behavioral. They see Cogswell as a potential catalyst to help support and engage and make it really a haven for diverse constituents in the community of all ages.
Yeah, we talked a little bit earlier before the show began about that building. The numbers of people that I have come in contact with before I even got involved with the radio station. I've lived in that neighborhood for 20 years. And people will ask, what's going on, and I will talk to them about the Cogswell School, and everyone has a story, some connection to that school. If for no other reason, to preserve the school and the memories that are contained in that building. Teachers, administrators, custodians, secretaries, the students themselves, the parents. My stepdaughter went to school up there. It's a beautiful building, and we talked earlier as well about the fact that architecture, that design of that building is so typical of so many of the schools that were built in that era. And even if you have no connection to the school at all, to walk through the doors of that building and see the inside, it just takes you back to your own school days. It really does. Throughout the building, even down into the basement where they had the kitchen, all of the facilities in the building, the windows, the blackboards, everything. And then when you set up the inside of one of the classrooms to put together the film on the space and what you hope to accomplish there, with all the chairs set up, the letters across the top of the blackboards and the bulletin boards and everything. It was like a trip down memory lane. It really was. That if anyone gets a chance to see that video, that's a great video. Really, really nicely done.
Yeah, and I think, something we're trying to do is create more memories like that and, offer opportunities, particularly in the arts, music, theater, any disciplines that really want to be a part of the fabric of what Cogswell Artspace will become, is have them engage and have them propose ideas for us moving forward, because it is like time traveling. The building, architecture is so unique and special.
Yeah, and I think, in a lot of school systems, I think across the country, that particular aspect of an education, I don't think is getting the funding that it did in the past. And when you create a space like that, you create an opportunity for individuals to explore their talents in all of those areas. Something, as I say, that used to be in the schools. I think there's not enough focus on it today, and this will be a great opportunity for a lot of people to explore their creativity and their talents.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so we do see the future of Cogswell Artspace as a real educationally focused mission, and hope that in time we will be able to offer a range of classes and workshops, lectures, even exhibitions for anyone in the community to come and participate in. We also hope that the certain number of classrooms on the second floor will be retrofitted for artist studios. We hear a lot from artists in the community that they don't have enough affordable studio rental space in town. So we're really smitten with the idea that there'll be working artists in the building, so it becomes this think tank of sorts and energy kind of running through the entire space.
And then I would imagine they'll get together periodically and have an open house and give people in the community the opportunity to come in and take a look at the work they've done and perhaps purchase it. You see an awful lot of that in Boston, and for artists in almost every community, and Haverhill isn't excluded from that, the cost of real estate is a big nut for artists, creative individuals to get beyond in order to make their work available.
Exactly. So I think, this is a win-win for everybody, giving them the access and, as you said, types of open studios, just helping, we're kind of helping them spread the word about their work. And hopefully with the number of students coming through the building, there'll be exposure that way as well.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of, I think there are a lot of talented people out there that will take advantage of the opportunity to use a space like that. It's, as I say, it's needed in every community. It really is. And I don't think I can't think of a better building. And of course, I'm a little partial because I live right down the street. I'll be able to walk to this. But it's in a very convenient location. It's easy to get to. It's in the middle of the district. And with the school across the street, there's another building on the opposite corner that's also historical. There's quite a bit there that's been preserved. And I think the whole neighborhood will continue to be that way. It's all included in a pretty significant historical district in Bradford, around the Common, and spreading out from there. So I think you have the local agencies in your corner when it comes to their support in wanting to preserve a building like this and put it to a great use.
Yeah, and actually Cogswell, the school itself, is in the Bradford Common Historical District and is on the National Register of Preservation. So from our perspective, that reason alone was an incentive to help revitalize it and, bring life back to it.
So tell us a little bit about how individuals and groups could get in touch with the Cogswell Artspace and help to make it a reality.
Well, the reason we're here tonight is to promote a fundraiser that we are offering on Thursday, Diva. You'll be hearing Warren sing soon. But in the meantime, if you would like to come to the concert, there are several ways you can access tickets. The tickets are on evenbright.com, and if you search for Diva, you'll find them. Or you can go to the cogswellartcenter.org and go to the event page, or our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/artscogswell. Or you can buy them at the door.
Awesome. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to hear some great music.
Open mic!
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
This is listener-supported community radio, WHAV. WHAV is the Merrimack Valley's Pacifica affiliate.
How does one man get himself into so many impossible situations? This is a question you'll probably ask yourself when you follow another hilarious adventure of Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve. Yes, Gildy's eye for the ladies and his impulsive temperament managed to entangle him in a web of riotous circumstances. Join the romantic water commissioner, his neighbors, Judge Hooker, Mr. Peavy, and all the loyal Gildersleeve household as they romp through another episode of The Great Gildersleeve.
Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. on WHAV.
Community Spotlight.
Diva, an all-female cast of singers, will perform at a concert benefiting the Cogswell Artspace Initiative Thursday, June 8th at 7:30 p.m. The concert takes place at the First Church of Christ, 10 Church Street, Bradford. Selections of songs from musical theater, opera, and art song catalogs will be sung by the 12 female cast members. Tickets to this concert of Divas are $20 and can be purchased online at eventbrite.com. Additional information about this event is available at cogswellartspace.com. Someone you know is on WHAV. To submit or read your own nonprofit announcements, click on the Contact tab at whav.net or email news@whav.net. In the Edwin V. Johnson newsroom, this is Frank Komola.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Welcome back to the Open Mic. Frank Komola here. And right now we're going to hear from Lauren Sprague, one of the singers that will be performing Thursday night at the First Church of Christ in Bradford. And the song is The Girl in 14G.
Just moved into 14G, so cozy, calm, and peaceful. Heaven for a mouse like me, with quiet by the leaseful. Pets are banned, parties too, and no solicitations. Window seat with garden view, a perfect nook to read a book. I'm lost in my Jane Austen when I hear say it is so, not the flat below. From an opera wannabe in 13G, a matinee of some cantata, Wagner's Ring and Traviata. My first night in 14G, I'll put up with Puccini, brew myself a cup of tea, crochet until she's feeny. 8:30, not a peep except the clock tick-tocking. Now I lay me down to sleep, a comfy bed to rest my head, a stretch, a yawn, I'm almost gone then. Zoot tweet up, zoot ta doot, zoo skill club, I'll be bib, na 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 na, woo! Now the girl upstairs wakes me unawares, blowing down from 15G, her reveille. She's scatting like her name is Ella. Guess who answers a cappella? Doo-doo-doo, boy. Doo-doo-doo, flood-a-doy. I'm not one to raise my voice, speak my mind, or make a fuss, but might I query, would you mind if, could you kindly stop? That felt good. Stop. Thirteen, 15G, a most unlikely trio. Not quite three-part harmony. Holding night was singing. Zoot doo doo flutter boy, zee da doo doo bada boy. Stop. I must be
feel like I just got transported to Broadway. Very, very nice. Very nice. That was Lauren Sprague, part of Diva, who will be performing Thursday night at the First Church Christ in Bradford to benefit the Cogswell Artspace. Do we take a break now? Not yet, he says. Why don't you come on back and sit down? Wow. That was amazing.
Thank you.
So, tell me a little bit about the group that you've put together and what you hope. Well, obviously, you hope to do a great job this Thursday night as a benefit to the Cogswell Artspace.
Yeah, so the group is the majority of the female singers that are performing on Thursday are from Haverhill. There are a few that are not from Haverhill, but they are fans of Haverhill and are fans of art. And so we have come together just within the last few weeks to put this program together. And, well, we've been preparing for about 6 months, but we just started rehearsals a couple weeks ago. And the song that I just performed will be in the program, and all of the songs are, everyone chose songs that kind of showcased what the word diva means to them, what the female voice can do, showcases what the female voice can do, and the different characters that we can play. There are funny songs, there are dramatic songs, like you mentioned before, there's some opera and musical theater, of course, and it's just going to be a wonderful program. Everyone's really excited to perform. There's another really funny song that we're doing, which is called Duetto Buffo di Due Gatti. And basically, that's in Italian, but what it translates to is a funny duet for two cats. And the only so it's a duet, and the only lyrics in the song is meow. But basically, it's two dueling sopranos singing meow in an operatic style. Wow. And it's very funny, very, very funny.
I got to tell you that, I mean, just the list of the types of songs that you're going to be singing, and that one in particular, there's quite a range of music that appeals to everyone.
Exactly. It's a huge range. So there's going to be something for everyone, absolutely.
There seemed to be a little bit of everything in the song that you just sang as well.
Which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do it tonight, because it does kind of give you a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you picked the right one. So tell us a little bit, you had said earlier when we chatted in the conference room about you're going to have a couple of younger performers in the show as well.
That's correct. So one of the pieces that I'm singing is called Costa Diva. It's from the opera Norma by Bellini. And the piece has a beautiful instrumental introduction. And my daughter happens to be a 12-year-old dancer, so I said to Maggie, my daughter, could you come up with some choreography for this little introduction? And so she did. So she'll be dancing, and then I'm going to sing the aria, and it'll be really nice. And then we also have the daughters of two of the other female performers. They are 7-year-old girls, and they're going to be singing a song called The Heartache Song, which is all about how they don't like to clean their room, and they don't want to have to eat their supper. And so we're going to give those tiny diva an opportunity to showcase their talents also.
Oh, what a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fabulous. And you know, one of the things I've noticed about the Cogswell Artspace in the events that they've chosen to raise money, they had the flower arranging benefit that Flowers by Steve did some time ago. This event here, it's all cultural, it's all arts, and it ties very well into what is trying to be put together for the Cogswell Artspace.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of deliberate on all of our parts to help showcase for the community what the potential range of Cogswell Artspace could be. And, you know, it's wide-reaching. It's not necessarily how we would consider the word art as visual arts. You
Yeah.
know, we want people to understand that we're kind of expanding those parameters and hope that there's something for everyone.
Yeah, I don't think this is the last we'll hear of the Divas either after this concert on Thursday night. I really don't.
No.
I think the phone's going to be ringing off the hook. I really do.
And we should say this is Lauren's second concert with Cogswell Artspace. She performed solo for us last fall. That kind of kick-started our fundraising campaign, and it was extraordinary. So
Yeah, it was up at the winery, wasn't it?
correct.
As I told her when she first arrived earlier tonight, it was amazing, absolutely amazing how much feedback I heard about the performance that you put on there that night. And as I told you before, the people that went there, if you watch the video, you started to sing, and people's mouths literally dropped.
Yes.
I mean, isn't it true?
Yes.
It was amazing. And for you to take the time to do this, I have to say thank you. And I'm sure that the folks that are working on making this a reality really appreciate the fact that you had the concert up at the winery, and now you've brought together all of this talent. And it's very impressive, the list of songs that'll be sung. I think the fact that you've incorporated some young people into it as well. I think you're going to see families come out to it. And it's a perfect venue right down the street. And, you know, it's interesting, too, when you think about it. Just up the street, Bradford College, when it was still open, had a great deal of performing arts programs in the building. And to be doing something similar to that right down the street and to benefit a building right across the street, it all kind of ties together. This is great. What do you say we take a break? We'll be right back.
Open mic!
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
It's 7:31.
97.9 FM, WHAV.
Catch the wave!
Melinda's Garden Moments help gardeners create and maintain a healthy, beautiful garden with ease, inside or out and all year long. This is Melinda Myers, inviting you to tune in every weekday morning, right here on WHAV. You'll learn creative ways to grow your own vegetables and herbs while beautifying your landscape. Eco-friendly lawn care, flower garden design basics, unique container gardens, attracting birds and butterflies to the landscape, and much more. Again, please join me weekday mornings for Melinda's Garden Moment for a very environmentally friendly approach to gardening. Remember, only local radio can bring you this feature opportunity, but only WHAV does.
Wave weather!
I'm WHAV meteorologist Gary Best with wave weather. For the Merrimack Valley, periods of light rain, drizzle, cool tonight around 50. Periods of light rain, drizzle, breezy and cool, low 50s on Tuesday. Light rain and drizzle again Tuesday night. Bit of morning drizzle, perhaps early Wednesday, then clouds and some sun. High temperature Wednesday, a bit over 60. This is Gary Best. You're next to wave weather coming up in 30 minutes.
WHAV Open Mic!
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Welcome back to the Open Mic Show. This is Frank Komola, your host this evening. We have three guests in the studio. Two are volunteers at the Cogswell Artspace Initiative, Jaime D. Simone and Tina Fuller. And we heard just a short while ago a performance by Lauren Sprague, one of the Divas, who will be performing at a benefit concert for the Cogswell Artspace this Thursday evening at 8 o'clock?
7:30.
7:30. See, now you're going to show up on time. So we'd like to spend a few minutes talking with Jaime and Tina about the goals. Obviously, when you set out to bring something like this to fruition, like anything else, it takes money, it takes volunteers, it takes a commitment. And we want to try, and I'm included in that group. I've donated and spent some time over there. We want to see this become a reality. And we need help from the community to make it possible. So we're going to spend a few minutes talking about the goals that the group has going forward.
Yes, well, the building is currently uninhabitable. It has no heat. And when
As I've found out a couple times going over there.
And it's had no heat for several years. And
Yeah.
when that happens, it's not good for a building. The paint tends to fall off the walls and that sort of thing. So, and we also don't own the building yet. So we are releasing the building for 3 years. Our lease is up in April of next year. And we need money to purchase the building and put heat in and do some other upgrades to be able to gain occupancy, bring things to code.
Right.
And we think that the initial phase of that, just to get into the building and be able to bring the public in, is going to be about $800,000. So we have raised quite a bit of money. We've raised about $400,000, but we've also spent some of that fixing the roof, emergency repairs to the roof.
Yeah.
Also, we had environmental company come in and remove the asbestos. And we've replaced broken windows and screens and done other things just to prevent the building from deteriorating.
Yeah.
And to keep the fire suppression system working.
Yeah.
Because we have to insure the building and we have responsibilities in that way. So, although we've raised quite a bit of money, we still need to raise a lot more.
Yeah. Yep.
And we would like to be able to purchase the building within the next year.
So we've got a lot of work ahead of us. I think, as you say, the community's been very supportive up to this point, and
well, we did have a big patronicity campaign where we had to raise $50,000 locally, and then we were matched by Mass Development for another $50,000. That was kicked off beginning of last winter and ended in January, and we did make that goal. So that's $100,000 towards our goals. We've written grants. We've had awards from various foundations. Amelia Peabody, the Stevens Foundation. What else?
Mass Cultural Council and Mass Development, Essex Heritage Preservation. A number of private individuals have stepped forward to make initial donations in support of the cause. But I think what Tina's alluding to is, first and foremost is bricks and mortar, and really getting us to purchase the building so that people can then invest in its future.
Right. And so how far away from the goal did you say you were?
Well,
About, in terms of percentage, probably about 60% of the way there?
40.
40% of the way, yeah. Yeah. And that's...
And we do have, the last grant that we got from the Mass Cultural Council was to develop engineering drawings to do the work. So we are prepared, we're ready to go. We just need to get the money to purchase the building and start the work.
Yeah, I think it's important for people to understand as much as residents of the community and the surrounding area want to see this happen, it takes a lot more than just wanting something to make it a reality. And with the building that you have comes with it, I mean, the architecture and the neighborhood and the structure of the building, I think, is sound, but there is obviously a fair amount of work to do in a school of that age and size to get it to the point where it will be suitable for what you want to do. And I believe that we have a generous community here. I think it's just a matter of getting out there and letting people know, as you have tonight, that you've got this opportunity, that the community has this opportunity, that the arts and cultural community has the opportunity to make this a reality. And it would be great to see people step up and contribute their time and obviously their money. The event that's coming up on Thursday night is a great opportunity to do that. Obviously, you've got some terrific talent, as we heard tonight. Very, very nice. And it sounds like an exciting event. It's a great venue to have it in. Hopefully, we can have some more events like this going forward and kind of continue the momentum to get to where we need to be to make it a reality.
Yeah, and we have to say we've been really blown away by the enthusiasm of not only the community, but Representative Linda Dean Campbell, Senator Katie Ives, and Brian Dempsey, from the mayor and the city council agreeing and supporting us on this lease to purchase over a 3-year period. And then, as you said, all of the neighborhood children, young and old, like young kids have helped us clean out the building and, commented on the chalkboards or the desks. And they just don't know, or TVs and VCRs. So, I think it really is a way to bring the community together and build that foundation of what Cogswell used to be.
Yeah, I just saw Linda Dean Campbell, as a matter of fact, over the weekend, and I told her that the three of you were going to be on here this Monday night. She was in the city for another event. She was hoping to get over here tonight to chat about it a little bit and to chat with you folks about it as well. And she has been very supportive. She's very, very excited about this, as is Senator O'Connor Ives and Brian Dempsey. You've got some great people in those positions, particularly Brian with the House Ways and Means Committee. To have people that are enthusiastic about this, that are in a position to be able to make it happen, and to generate a lot of interest. I think their recommendations, they're talking up this project, is very, very beneficial, and I think they've been very supportive up to this point, and I'm sure that they will continue to do so. It's great.
Yeah, we certainly hope so. We're only strong in numbers, and of course, financially dollars are helpful, but it's also supportives in general. Not everyone has the means to contribute financially, but there are certainly other ways to get involved in, word of mouth and just spreading what our goals are for, purchasing the building, achieving certificate of occupancy so that we can slowly start bringing the community in through pilot programs and then studio spaces. I love when someone comes up to me and asks where we are in the project, and expecting that they can go over there leisurely on a Saturday afternoon. And I really wish that was the case. We all want to see people in that building. So that, that's a little bit of a misconception where we are, but we want the community to be assured that we are making progress behind the scenes, and it's going to be a multi-year project and continue to be.
Yeah, and I have to say that in this era, if you think back maybe 20 years ago when social media didn't exist, you basically had to rely on the newspapers and radio to get the word out there, and sometimes it was delayed. You didn't hear it that often, but with a Facebook page, with all of the other social media that's available, you can really get a message out like you never could before. And I'm sure that it's been helpful up to this point, and it'll continue to be helpful in highlighting and promoting events like Thursday night and others that I'm sure you'll have going forward. And just letting people know where it's at and how far you have to go and how much you appreciate their support. It's funny. It's very similar to this radio station. This went back on the air just last October. We're a nonprofit public radio station. And so we certainly have an appreciation and understanding of what it takes to put something like these events together. And as I mentioned before, to have a 60-second spotlight, community spotlight, and to be able to highlight programs like this. And we will continue in these community spotlights to let people know that there's a goal in mind here, and to let them know that we would appreciate their help, that you folks would appreciate their help, and we'll keep the message going forward. And I'm certain that this is going to become a reality. I'm very excited for it, as I think all three of you are, and a number of people in the community. It's great to bring something like this to Haverhill.
Yeah, it's really overdue. You know, we did do a number of surveys to kind of gauge community interest and investment, and you know, I think the most telling thing was from the Haverhill Art Association. They don't have a meeting place. You know, they don't have a place where they can show their work, you know, and that's just serving one small constituency of older artists. But, you know, it says a lot when a group as strong and as beloved as they are in the community, that they don't have a home. So they're just one example of the ways in which we hope to partner with other nonprofits in the community and give them a haven of sorts.
Yeah, yeah. Are we ready to take a break right about now? All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back in a few minutes.
Open mic!
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
Broadcasting on the Armstrong FM system, this is 97.9 FM WHAV.
Catch the wave!
On air or online, 97.9 WHAV serves you. Twice an hour weekdays, keep up to date with exclusive local news. Find out about civic events on Community Spotlight every quarter hour, and better prepare with wave weather every 30 minutes. For talk, there's Open Mic Show Monday nights, in your hometown Friday nights. Mass Moments, Melinda's Garden Moment, Soundbeat, and Insight Daily complete the spectrum. Hear classic comedy and drama 7 nights a week at 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. Finally, a unique blend of rock and roll hits round out the entertainment. Stay with 97.9 WHAV, the only Haverhill-based news source.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Welcome back. This is Frank Komola, host of Open Mic here on 97.9 WHAV. We're going to spend a few minutes now talking about the other 11, along with Lauren Sprague, who will be performing in the program this Thursday night at 7:30. And so, Lauren, why don't you tell us a little bit about each of the individuals and the kind of music that they'll be presenting that night.
Sure, excellent. So along with me, we will have soprano Heather Butler. Heather will be performing this really hilarious song that is about a frustrated New York housewife. And in the song, she's actually standing on the ledge of her New York penthouse,
apartment, and she just brings so much. She completely embodies this character with a very thick accent. It's just so funny. You're going to love it. And then Heather's also in the second act doing this beautifully dramatic piece from a musical adaptation of the story The Bridges of Madison County. And it's just a really beautiful journey song that she's singing. Also, Megan Carey will be performing in the show. Megan was born and raised in Haverhill, and she will be performing a song called 100 Ways to Lose a Man, which is very funny. It's from Wonderful Town by Leonard Bernstein, and it's a really, really cute song. She's also performing this song called My Party Dress, in which she is pretending to be a 7 or 8 year old little girl, and she's wearing this glitzy, pink, sparkly party dress, and that one's really funny too. Margaret DeGrazia, she actually goes by Peggy. You might know her by Peggy. She is going to be playing piano in the show, but she's also singing 2 pieces. One piece from Hamilton called Burn, and then another piece called The Prima Donna Song, which is a very funny song. Michelle Grasso will be performing 2 operatic pieces, beautiful Italian opera pieces. Sandra Huerta will be performing this beautiful story song about lovers whose relationship had to end way too soon. And then she'll also be performing Diva's Lament, which is from Spamalot, which is this very funny song that she just belts it out, and it's very, very, very entertaining. Risa Kapp is actually one of the music teachers in Haverhill. She teaches at the Greenleaf School where my son goes to school. And Risa got her master's degree at UNH, and she wrote her thesis on the New Hampshire composer Amy Beach, who was a 20th century, early 20th century composer. So Risa will actually be performing 2 Amy Beach pieces, which they're very lovely art songs. Let's see, Carol Messina is the other pianist, and so she'll be accompanying us. Amy Nelson is going to be serving as our mistress of ceremonies, and Amy will be, because Haverhill is the shoe capital, she will be performing the pop song These Boots Were Made for Walkin'. Avery Butler and Brooke Nelson are our 7-year-old tiny divas, and they will be performing this very funny song called The Heartache Song, where they sing about how much they don't want to clean up their room and eat their vegetables and that sort of thing. And Brenda Pothier lives in Bradford. She'll be performing 2 standard musical theater pieces. And then my daughter will be performing a lyrical ballet dance as a part of one of the arias that I'm singing. So that's everybody, and it's, as you can, as I said, it's a wide range of music, something for everyone.
It sounds like Broadway comes to Haverhill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very nice. Very, very nice. So again, this is Thursday evening, June 8th. It starts at 7:30 at the First Church in Bradford at 10 Church Street, I believe, and tickets suggested at $20. And you can go online and order the tickets at eventbrite.com. And if you have any questions, you can go to the Cogswell Artspace website, which is cogswellartspace.com.
CogswellArtCenter.org.
I'm glad you're here.
Or the Facebook page.
Yes. Or at the door.
Or at the door.
Uh-huh.
And I think one other thing from all of us on the Cogswell side, we're particularly grateful to Lauren and all of the performers who have really donated their time for this event. And, you know, I think it should be said that they've been practicing for months and have agreed that all of the proceeds will go to benefit Cogswell Artspace. And we are also very grateful for the First Church for opening the space to us and allowing us to have their auditorium for this cause.
I agree.
Yeah, and this was when I heard about what was going to be happening with the art space. I live on South Prospect Street, so I can throw stones right across the street.
You're
it's
the
right
one.
there. I know, I'm the one. So I wanted to do something, and I wish I had $1 million that I could donate. I don't, but I have my art, and so I figured, why not get together a group of Haverhill residents and people who want to support Haverhill and the Art Center, and put together this concert to raise money and get the word out about this excellent thing that's happening.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll be going online within the next 24 hours and have my wife and I walk across the street and see all of you on Thursday night. What a terrific event. You are an amazing singer, I have to say.
Isn't she, though?
Oh, my God, yeah. I don't think you got a chance to look up, but the audience in the engineering room, just amazing. Smiles ear to ear. It's just... I can just imagine from the singing you've done, from the description of the show that you're putting on here this Thursday night. You have the kids involved as well. They're always a blast to watch. It's amazing what a stage presence. Young kids. You said there were 2 at 7 and another at 12.
That's right.
It's amazing the. What would you say, at the stage presence or the lack of fear in just walking out in front of a group of people like that and putting on a show, just incredible. Very, very nice. Is there anything else we'd like to go over here? Well, we hope everyone will turn out for this, and I'm sure it'll be a success. And as I said before, I'm certain that the phone is going to start ringing between the concert that you put on up at the winery and what's going to happen on Thursday night. It won't be the last that you'll hear from anyone to perform. I also wanted to extend to all of you, if you have any events coming up in the future, as in the past, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have you back on the show to talk some more about the progress that the fundraising has achieved. And when we hit a goal, we'll just have to have a celebration right here, I think.
Excellent.
Yep.
We want to thank WHAV, too, for having us.
Happy to do it.
Promoting our event.
Happy to do it. Very, very happy to do it.
Go WHAV.
Let's see. What do we got for time left here? We got a couple of more minutes. 5 minutes we have. Anything else going on in the community that people would like to talk about? Open mic, that's what it's called.
Yeah,
5 minutes.
I know. I'm pretty focused on this concert right now. We're going to be setting up chairs and getting the hall all ready, and the piano's already been moved into the space, so that's good news. And it's in tune, so that's good.
What about help? Do you need any volunteers the night of the event to usher or help out in any way? This would be a great opportunity.
If someone shows up, we'll put them right to work. We'll definitely have lots of chairs to be broken down at the end of the concert, and there'll be programs to pass out. So absolutely, if anyone's out there that would really like to help out, come and we'll give you a job.
Yeah, ticket sales at the door if they'd like.
We're having a 50-50 raffle, so bring your money.
That's
see?
Right. We also should share some instructions on how to get into the space and available parking.
Absolutely.
So, around the common or in the back of the church or spots, and then I think they enter through the back, correct?
The left-hand side, yes, exactly. Yep, the left. If you're looking at the church and go around the left-hand side, there's an entrance that goes right into the auditorium that we'll be using. So,
which is in a separate building behind the church.
Right.
For clarity.
Call for the guests. All right, why don't we see if I can get a couple of these around. There's a phone call coming in. Why don't you, let's see if we can get this unhooked. There you go. And there's another.
there you go. Okay.
And I'll
Go for it.
All right, so we're going to take a call, right? Technical difficulties. Please stand. Oh, hello. You're on open.
Yes, hello?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. You, Chris tells me you have a question or a comment for our guest tonight.
I do. My question is for Lauren. And, thank you so much for singing and really for sharing your gift with us and for bringing this amazing gift to Haverhill and the Haverhill community.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's what I love to do, and Haverhill is my city. It's where I live, so it's an honor for me to be able to present it to the city of Haverhill.
And you know, to have such a beautiful gift, it doesn't come easy. I'm sure it's been a lifelong endeavor to perfect your craft, and I would love to know what inspires you to sing and to continue to sing and to share this gift with us.
Good question.
Very good question. Well, I've been singing my whole life. I grew up singing. I think I was born singing. And,
I can tell.
And I studied voice when I was when I was in high school. I went to an arts magnet high school, and then I studied music in college, and went to Boston University. And then decided to stay, because I'm originally from Connecticut, so I decided to stay in Massachusetts. And then my husband and I, we actually bought a house in Lowell at first, but it was very small, and we couldn't really afford anything bigger in Lowell, so we thought, hey, let's check out Haverhill. And we really liked Bradford, the Bradford feel, and we liked the idea of having our children grow up in a diverse and maybe more urban community. And so we decided to put down roots here. And so here we are. And I still sing every day. I irritate my family all the time.
Oh, I doubt that.
And so, yeah, so it is a lifelong process, but I love every minute of it.
Tell us a little bit about some of the other, I would imagine you've performed in the past.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
So I, most recently, I performed a very difficult Handel cantata at Holy Family Parish in Concord, Massachusetts. That's where I actually sing. I have a church job there, so I sing on Sundays there. And it was really exciting because we got to have an orchestra of Baroque players, so Baroque musicians that played along with us. And that was just a few weeks ago, and now I have this concert coming up. So I've performed with Spotlight Playhouse, which is the theater group that makes its home in Haverhill. And I haven't been performing as much now that I am a mom, but I've been performing throughout Massachusetts for the last 20 years. So.
And the Spotlight Playhouse?
Yes, Spotlight Playhouse is Haverhill's community theater. They perform at least 2 productions per year, but I think actually this summer they are going to be doing a youth production of Beauty and the Beast. And I know you can find more information about Spotlight Playhouse on their website, spotlightplayhouse.org.
I'd love for you to get in touch with the folks over at the Spotlight Playhouse, and we'd love to have them on in the future to talk about what's coming up. That would be great. Again, thank you all very much. Thank you, caller, for calling in.
Yeah, thanks so much for giving me the opportunity.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that's gonna wrap it up. An hour and 15 minutes goes by pretty quick. Thank you all very much for coming in again. I'm looking forward to this, and I think everyone who has heard about this, everyone that heard you perform tonight, the cast of performers that you have, it sounds like a great event, and you've matched up with a great organization, I think. Thanks very much, all three of you, for being here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to head off to the news, and we'll be back after the news on Open Mic.
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
It's 8:03.
WHAV LP Haverhill. Here's what's happening in local news. A family member told WHAV the man who died in Saturday's crash in Haverhill was Anthony Cunningham, just days before his 26th birthday. The family has not yet been allowed to identify the body, according to his only aunt, Melissa Cunningham of Haverhill. She said she expects he will be formally identified later today in Boston. She said police were able to confirm the identity by matching receipts in his car to a store video where he shopped. I will be the first to say he may have made a bad choice, but wasn't a bad kid. He was on his way home from work, no drugs or alcohol, she said. He would have been 26 this week on the 7th. If he wasn't working, he was fishing, she added. Cunningham crashed his car into a utility pole Saturday afternoon in Haverhill after being pursued by Merrimack police. He died about 8:20 Saturday night, a little more than 4 hours after the crash. He was raised by his grandparents, Donald and Judy Cunningham, and lived his life in Haverhill and Bradford, his aunt said. There was no official confirmation as of Sunday night from police or Essex County District Attorney Jonathan Blodgett's office, according to Merrimack Police Chief Eric Shears. An investigation has begun. This is obviously an unfortunate outcome, Shears said. We are actively investigating and hope to learn more about the circumstances surrounding this incident as soon as possible. Merrimack Police said Cunningham fled from police after a traffic stop at about 4:05 p.m. Saturday near 100 West Main Street. He was stopped for allegedly driving with an expired registration. As the Merrimack officer approached the vehicle, the driver sped off. The officer returned to his car and attempted to catch the vehicle as it fled onto Route 110 and into Haverhill, Shears said. The officer, who was unable to catch up to the driver, rounded a corner near the border on Atwood Road in Haverhill and found the vehicle crashed into a telephone pole. The operators of 2 medical marijuana dispensaries have approached the city about moving here. Haverhill City Council will hear from Jason Sidman, CEO of Sanctuary Medicinals, at Tuesday night's meeting. Dan Chavo of Revolutionary Medical has asked for a meeting as well, but one has yet to be scheduled. The council meets at 7 p.m. in the Theodore Pelosi City Council chambers on the second floor of Haverhill City Hall. The meeting is open to the public. Sidman said he met with Mayor James Fiorentini as recently as May 15th to discuss locating a registered medical marijuana dispensary in Haverhill. In 2015, councils adopted a plan to allow medical marijuana facilities in a section of the Broadway Business Park near Route 97 and Interstate 495. Sidman said the company has exhausted all efforts to identify a potential location in the Computer and Research Drive areas of the business park that has been zoned for marijuana dispensaries, but will introduce an alternative site at Tuesday's meeting. Sidman said the replacement site has similar characteristics to the zone where dispensaries would currently be allowed. Sanctuary Medicinals has a license to operate 3 dispensaries in Massachusetts, Sidman said. The first is scheduled to open in Gardner, and the company hopes the second will be in Haverhill if it can earn a special permit from the council. The company operates a dispensary in Plymouth, New Hampshire, and a cultivation operation in Rochester, New Hampshire. The company is about to begin another growing operation on Taylor Street in Littleton, Sidman said. Sanctuary Medicinal's corporate office is in Boston, according to papers it has filed with the Department of Public Health. Councilor Colin LePage said Revolutionary Medical's Chavo contacted him to request information about how his company could receive a letter of support from the city and to learn about Haverhill's requirements for medical marijuana dispensaries. Healthy Farms, the first company that approached the city about locating a dispensary here, abandoned its plans and opened a facility in Georgetown. Remember, WHAV is the only Haverhill-based news source. There's always more at WHAV.net. In the Edwin V. Johnson newsroom, this is Tim Coco.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Rebecca Foster. The UK's Metropolitan Police have named 2 of the men involved in Saturday's London Bridge terror attack. U.S. President Donald Trump will not use executive privilege to block fired FBI Director James Comey's testimony before a Senate committee later this week. And the trial of American comedian Bill Cosby is getting underway as he faces charges for drugging and assaulting a woman.
Wave weather.
I'm WHAV meteorologist Gary Best with wave weather. For the Merrimack Valley, periods of light rain, drizzle, cool tonight around 50. Periods of light rain, drizzle, breezy and cool, low 50s on Tuesday. Light rain and drizzle again Tuesday night. Bit of morning drizzle, perhaps early Wednesday, then clouds and some sun. High temperature Wednesday, a bit over 60. This is Gary Best. You're next to wave weather coming up in 30 minutes.
This is Pacifica Radio for the Merrimack Valley. WHAV.
WHAV, Merrimack Valley. Open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco at whav.net.
Welcome back to the Open Mic program. This is Frank Komola. We've spent the last hour and 15 minutes talking with some great folks from the Cogswell Artspace Initiative and talking about the concert that some volunteers here in Haverhill, a dozen volunteers, have generously donated their time, not only for the concert on Thursday night, but the time that goes into rehearsing the songs and the performances that they'll have on Thursday. This event is going to benefit 100% of the proceeds from this concert will go to the Cogswell Artspace Initiative. So I encourage you, as you may have heard or may not have heard, we had a sample of the music performed by Lauren Sprague here in the studio. And it's going to be like Broadway, as I said earlier, it's going to be like Broadway comes to Haverhill. It's an all-female cast. And again, it's June 8th, this Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. at the First Church of Christ in Bradford. That's 10 Church Street in Bradford. Tickets are $20. They're available on the website Eventbrite. That's eventbrite.com. And if you have any questions, you can contact the Cogswell Artspace.org. These events, in addition to the performances, there are also ushers that are needed. There's people to sell tickets at the door. If this is something like that you would like to contribute a few minutes to on Thursday night, they would certainly welcome the help in breaking down the chairs after the concert is finished. And as I say, helping in other capacities to direct people. The event will take place to the left-hand side of the church going towards a separate building behind the church. They may need some people to direct visitors and patrons to the event out to where the concert is going to take place. So if you're willing and able and want to help the cause, they'd certainly welcome it and appreciate it. I just want to mention two things. First of all, as we have in the past, we have a question for our audience, and it's a trivia question. If you answer this question correctly, you will get a $10 gift certificate, good to use at the Kimball Tavern Antiques, right there in and adjacent to the Bradford Commons, not far from the church that we just mentioned. And the question is this: name the man on Lowell Avenue who collected hubcaps. Over the years, apparently, the roads out in front of this gentleman's house were not what you would hope that they would be. And a number of cars back in the day would drive up the street, hit those ruts in the road, and pop those hubcaps off. And he managed to display them all over the trees, all over his house and in his yard. And if you can call us here at 978-374-1900 with a guest, you will win a $10 gift certificate to the Kimball Tavern Antiques. And we have 3 hints. First of all, his first name is Charlie. His initials are C and A. And also his nickname was Kista. So if you'd like to take a guess, feel free to give us a call here at 978-374-1900. Also, for the month of July, if you have a friend, relative, prospective friend, yourself, your husband, your kids, if you want, you can call in here. Again, the number is 978-374-1900. And you will be put into a drawing at the end of this month for a 7-inch cake, chocolate or vanilla, from LBD's second-generation Italian bakery, 140 South Main Street in Bradford. They've been very generous about these donations, and we've given away quite a few of them over the years. So if you know of anyone that's celebrating coming up this month, give us a call. We do have a call, I believe. Chris has told me. So, and I believe it's Jerry.
Good evening, Frank.
Hello, Jerry.
Good evening, Frank. Congratulations on your new job.
I have to say that it wouldn't be an inaugural event for me without a call from you. I'd be disappointed if I didn't hear from you on my first night here running solo.
In addition to that, I hope you have a wonderful journey. I'm sure you will.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. We're going to have the next week, I should mention, at 6:30. The Joe and Frank show is coming back for an hour of sports. We're hoping to have a couple of other members of the local high school sports program come in and chat with us. We'll probably chat a little bit about the Red Sox, about the MIAA baseball championship series that's been taking place over the last week and a half. There have been several teams. Central Catholic has been involved. I believe Andover's been involved, Methuen. So it looks to be a lot of fun next week.
Frank, I've been kind of, I had a real tough cold, and it was like for a week or so, and I didn't hear the discussion on Rockingham Park's demolition and et cetera, and what's planned there. But I've been looking at that project now for about a year,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the two things that I was interested in, and maybe you'd be interested in too, is where are they going to get the water? and
yeah,
what
that's an area that you're very familiar with, obviously.
Yes, I am. I figured just the condominiums alone, we're talking about 150 condos. The capital usage per person, per occupant, is about 110 gallons per day. And so I figured that an estimate of about 300,000 gallons just for the condos. Then you have all the other retail. I think they're going to need, to be on the safe side, I think they're going to be a need for about a million gallons of water from some alternative source, because Cannibal was very, very dry this year. It was way down. Last year was way down. And in fact, from time to time they buy water. They have a contract with Methuen to get approximately 200,000 gallons a day in case of emergency. I know that they've been looking at three or four options. One was to put wells in the Spigot River.
Mm-hmm.
The color of the Spigot River water is like 600, and that's really bad. So I don't think that they would go there. The other alternative was to use Arlington Pond, which they do now in the springtime, but the quality isn't very good to begin with. Another option would be to get water from Manchester, which is 7 miles away, so they'd have to pipe it to Salem.
That's all it is 7 miles? I thought it was a little bit further than that.
No, it's about seven and a half miles. Yeah.
Huh. Never seems that way when I try to get up there. It seems like it goes on forever.
Yeah, Nashua, is kind of, they get all they can handle because it's amazing. I didn't believe it until I looked at the demographics. Nashua's got like a population of 94,000. Does that sound reasonable to you?
No, it doesn't. It sounds too low. But let me ask you something. Let me ask you a question, Jerry. I would imagine now, I know that the architects, and I don't know who the engineering firm is, but I know the architects were involved in the development of the shops in Linfield off of Route 128, and it was a project very similar to what they're hoping to do up in Salem, New Hampshire. I got to believe that they have done some study or some engineering work to determine if there is enough capacity. Is there any kind of an aquifer under the property itself?
No, they have a pond there. They have a pond in the middle.
Right.
It's 300 acres, but in the middle of the Rockingham there is a pond that they in the past have used for irrigation.
Right.
Flowers and things like that.
Yeah.
No, there's really no other alternative except the only other one that they've been commissioning studies for years because this isn't the first time that
anybody's talked about doing anything. Right.
Salem is one of the hottest development spots on the the Massachusetts-New Hampshire border.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And the other alternative is tying in not only water but also wastewater. Right now, Salem takes Salem discharges their wastewater into the Methuen system, which goes to Greater Lawrence Sanitary District.
Well, wasn't there talk a few years ago by the mayor about here in Haverhill about selling water to adjacent communities? Is that an option?
Well, Methuen could sell water. Could be the option because
no, I mean Jerry,
capable of producing 10 million a day, and the Methuen usually their maximum day is only 6, so they got plenty of water to spare.
Well,
and,
I'm guessing that might be the option.
A 2 million gallon tank, which is right on the borderline of Salem, which would be a real plus.
So Haverhill's not an option, huh? Jerry? Haverhill's not an option?
Yes.
Haverhill.
You're right. Haverhill right now is in the process of building a what they call a radial well, which is capable of producing like 6 million. You're right. Haverhill could be, because right now I think Haverhill is providing water to that Plastow, what is it, area there where all the
right on the border.
Are?
Yeah, right on the border.
Right on the border right now. You're right.
Well, we could sell it. Here's the deal. We could sell it to Methuen, and then they could mark it up and then sell it to Salem. Of course, you'd probably go into the Tuscan restaurant and you'd have to ask for the water, and maybe they'd charge you for a glass.
The important thing is, have you ever heard the term outer basin transfer?
No, I haven't.
Well, outer basin means that it would be coming from another basin rather than the Merrimack. But both Haverhill and Methuen are in the Merrimack River Basin, so it would be, it wouldn't be a loss to the basin. In other words, permitting through the Department of Conservation and DEP would be much easier if it were. The option was, is from Methuen or Haverhill.
I've learned an awful lot of new things here this week. I'm going to do a little bit of research between now and next week, and see what I can come up with. See if I can get some answers for you.
They've done. I'd love to see the report that has been done.
Mm-hmm.
They looked at Salem. I talked to the town manager. They looked at Methuen as an alternative.
Right.
They looked at Pennachuck and Nashua. They looked at Manchester, and they've looked at constructing wells in the Spigot River.
Right, you talked about that, and that's just not an option.
Arlington Pond, but they don't even own the rights to Arlington Pond.
Right. Jerry?
Arlington Pond is the rights to Arlington Pond are owned by the the people who live all around it, the Arlington Association.
Jerry, we've got an individual on the line that's interested in taking a guess at one of our contests. So
we'll talk to you again sometime.
We'll call it a night if you don't mind, and then.
No. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Look forward to hearing from you again. All right, and we have another caller on the line. You got to turn that on, don't you?
You have to turn that on, then you laugh.
Pardon me? Are you there?
Hello?
Caller?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes. Can I take my guess at the Charlie name?
I think you can.
Okay. Charlie Axel.
Charlie Axel. No, I'm sorry.
No Charlie Axel?
No Charlie Axel.
Ah.
Yep.
You're kidding me, Coco.
No, actually, this is not Coco. This is Frank Komola. You were close.
Frank Komola?
Yeah, Frank Komola. So you were wrong on both guesses. And it's too bad, too, because if you guessed my name right, I'd have had a swell prize for you, too.
Come on.
No, I'm serious.
You're going to give me 3 strikes.
Yep. Well, apparently we're going to go another week on that particular contest.
Oh, cool.
Yep. But we appreciate you calling in, and we appreciate you listening. And
do you want the Warriors or the Cavs?
Pardon me?
Do you want the Warriors or the Cavs?
The Warriors or the Cavs? I think the Warriors. What about you?
I have to agree with you.
Uh-huh.
I gotta let you go now.
Okay, same here.
I'm sorry I got your name wrong, Frank.
No, that's it's okay, really. Call us again next week with a guess.
All right, bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Chris, we have 5 minutes, huh? Wow. Let's see. What do we want to talk about? Tomorrow morning, I believe the first tea time is at 7 o'clock. The Elder Services of the Merrimack Valley will be having their golf tournament. And hopefully, as I understand it, the weather tomorrow morning will be decent, at least in the morning anyway. And I hope that they can get the tournament underway and completed by early afternoon. A number of local businesses in the Merrimack Valley, including WHAV, have sponsored holes, have sponsored the hole-in-one contest. It's going to be a great event, and I'm going to take a run out there tomorrow morning and be a spectator for a little bit. It should be a good time. Chris tells me, do we have another call? No. Now I'm hearing things. You know, I've been here, night. I sit here for 2 hours, and now I'm hearing phones ring. Well, my wife always said I was a little crazy, so it's proven itself. I again wanted to mention that Joe Edwards will be here next week, 6:30. Joe and I are going to do the Joe and Frank show. Hopefully we'll have Justin give us a call, as he did the first time Joe and I were on here. Justin is a umpire in the Bradford Riverside Little League. He and his, he's been at it, I think he said about 5 years. His grandfather did it for a long time. And he just had some terrific stories, and I'm sure he's got 1,000 more. As a matter of fact, if Justin does call in last week, perhaps we can get his phone and share his observations and stories. When Justin was talking about the players, how the pitching is just phenomenal, how these kids have gone on. It's got to be a great thrill for him to see these kids play in the Little League. His grandfather, as Justin related it to us, was a coach of Carlos Pena, who is a Haverhillite and went on to play for half a dozen teams in the Major League, and actually a recipient of the first induction of the Haverhill High School Hall of Fame. And I would love to have him come on and tell a few stories. I hope that he attended. I haven't heard from Justin in a couple of weeks. I hope that he had a chance to get his grandfather out to that event and share a few stories and have the opportunity to meet Carlos. That would have been fun to see. Let's see. What else do we have going on? Again, if you've again next week for the month of July, if you have any anniversaries, days for anyone, give us a call next week at 978-374-1900, and we'll put your name in the hat for a 7-inch cake in chocolate or vanilla from LBD's Second Generation Bakery, 140 South Main Street in Bradford. And I think that wraps it up for this week. I appreciate your patience here on my first night. Look forward to hearing from you and seeing you again next week at the same time on the Open Mic. Have a great night.
Open Mic!
Join Tim Coco live on the Open Mic again next Monday night at 6:30. The opinions expressed on the Open Mic show are not necessarily those of WHAV, its underwriters, or affiliated stations. The Open Mic show came to you from the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom.